you. Thanks for having me. So LinkedIn. How many of you have gotten some results from LinkedIn? 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5, 6. A few results. What kind of things are happening? When you raise your hand for results, what's come from LinkedIn?
Job opportunities and new business.
Okay. Anyone else?
For me, it was I needed to know who had done something similar and what the pitfalls were and what they could share with me. So I wasn't recreating an entire project that somebody had done a similar project.
So you needed information and you asked for help on LinkedIn. Okay, great. Yes?
I think it was connecting to mentors, people who have information for someone like me that's newer to the field.
Connecting to mentors in your field or industry. Yes, yeah.
I find it very helpful to keep up with where reporters are, where they've gone, if they've moved to some kind of media that I can use in a different way.
Where are the reporters? Because they move around, right? We all move around. So keeping track of people, following them. Right, awesome, great, exactly. So, I want to, the title is Unleashing the Power of LinkedIn. I really want to focus on how to get results. And I have some tips for you. And hopefully you'll get some takeaways today. But before I go any further, I really want to thank Serene Wallace and Nancy Mayerson of Mayerson Marketing and PR. I've known Nancy for years. I was serving on the board of the Ventura County World Affairs Council 20 years ago. And I met Nancy at an event, networking. They just do a fabulous job, and I've been able to work with them since then, and I just think they're great, so thank you. I just love talking about LinkedIn. I've gotten results from it, and I'm going to tell you about that. I'm going to tell you how I got them too. I've broken this little presentation really into two parts, because there are some important considerations when you set up your profile on LinkedIn. And I'm going to assume, I've kind of assumed that everyone here, you're in PR, you have hopefully you have a profile, you have a nice picture, because that's important, right? How you present yourself really makes a difference. There are some little things I've noticed, though, in working with clients, and it was back in 2004, in January of 2004, and you can find this on your LinkedIn profile. If you want to remember, well, when did I join LinkedIn? How long have I been on here? It will tell you the date you joined. So I don't remember who it was in 2004 who invited me to sign on to LinkedIn, but I did, and for some reason I liked it, and I was very diligent about adding people and connecting to people. So any client I had, my colleagues in the Institute of Management Consultants, the Association for Strategic Planning, all of these organizations, boards, committees, and college classmates, and all of that, I would ask people to join. And it's just been tremendous. One of the things that I noticed, though, is that when I work with clients and I look at people's profiles, sometimes I'll see some gaps, some little things that are missing, and I'll see people who say that they're the owner at their company. And that's true, right? A lot of people are proud that they own a company, that they started something. That's great information, and they want to put that on there. And I know when I sign up for things online, I'll often say I'm the owner of New Insight, because it's just, you just type it in real quickly and get through with it. But no one is searching for owner on LinkedIn, right? One of my clients needed a programmer who knew how to program using Adobe Air. And they said, can you help us? I didn't know anyone who programmed in Adobe Air. What did I do? I joined a group on LinkedIn of Adobe Air programmers. I looked through it, who was participating in the discussions and seemed to know what they were talking about. And then I got on the phone and I actually called them up. And I found two great candidates. One didn't work out. They were a little flaky, but the second one was awesome. And my client was thrilled. They were just blown away by that, the fact that I could find them that resource, and it was on LinkedIn. So you have an opportunity to move beyond calling yourself owner, or one of my clients is the managing partner of a law firm in Los Angeles. And when I started working with them, his title on LinkedIn said managing partner, comma, shareholder. Completely accurate, completely right, but no one's searching for shareholder on LinkedIn. They're looking for an experienced litigator with experience in certain law practice areas. So that's what we had to get on and change for him. A little story. It was 2005, 2006, I want to say. I read someone's blog post. I don't remember his name. I'll try to remember it. And he said, you can optimize your LinkedIn profile. I had been doing a lot with search engine optimization and getting people's websites to get found, company websites to get found online. And I thought, optimize your LinkedIn profile? You can do that? So little me, I went to my LinkedIn profile and I started searching around. And I started playing with it. And I optimized my profile so that my profile would come up on the first page. I was either in position 1, 2, or 3 for all the marketing consultants in the world. And at that time, there were about 1 million. Well, now there are probably a gazillion, right? Because so many more people use LinkedIn. Now, at that time, it didn't get me business because not that many people were on it. But today, people searching for marketing consultant, people searching for CMO, often see my profile. And it's much harder to come up, number 1 in the world, but you can really do this. So you can play around with it. And the title is something that makes a big difference. And then you have an opportunity to write a summary. And this is what, I think this is what you found for the little introduction you did, and thank you so much for that. But this is one of the first things that people see. And in your summary on your profile, you have an opportunity to get some of those keywords in there that people might be searching for. So when someone needs a certain skill or they want to find if someone's done something before, what you put in your summary makes a difference. And then also notice that there's my brand. See, New Insight shows up right on my profile. Does anyone know how that happens? You have the
company profile.
That's right. So you have an opportunity now. Not everyone is going to do this, but you have an opportunity to create a company page on LinkedIn and upload your logo. What I like about that is it brings the brand into your personal profile. And I think it adds a little credibility. In a way, everyone can say they're a consultant, right? But I've had New Insight. I started it almost 18 years ago. And that brand is important. And I want to make sure people know that this is a long-term endeavor for me. And I think, yeah. So if you were looking at my profile on LinkedIn and you click on my logo, you'll actually see some information come up about New Insight and the services that I do. Now, I mentioned not everyone wants a company page or needs one. And one of the reasons is because now I need to put updates on my company page about what we're doing and what the activities are, as well as on my personal profile. So now I have 2 things to update on LinkedIn, and I'm going to tell you why that's important. But see, you can upload an image, descriptions, and then people can actually follow your company on LinkedIn and make recommendations for your company as well as for you personally. So optimize your profile, get a company page, a branded company page set up, and then it's important to do something on LinkedIn. And I got such a kick out of, there was probably a consultant, I think his name was Jason Alba, A-L-B-A, and years ago he wrote 2 books. One was titled, I'm on LinkedIn, now what? And the other one was, I'm on Facebook, now what? So then, once you have everything set up correctly, you need to engage with people. And it can be as simple as sharing your information. And I've been blogging since 2009.
Blogging's a lot of work, especially in marketing and PR, because there are so many of us. And you have the bigger companies that have all their people blogging. I mean, they have hourly blog posts. I started blogging in 2009. In 2010-11, I ramped up to 3 blog posts a week, and by 2013, I got national recognition. I was put on a list of the 20 B2B marketing blogs you must read. Yay! But 4 years later, hello. So today, I take my blog posts and I put them on my personal profile, and I have, because I've been so diligent about connecting with people, I have I think it's over 2,000 contacts now. And so this goes up on my profile, and it also feeds into the news feed on everyone's homepage of LinkedIn. And then when you post an update, when you do a blog post, that's something different. I'm going to talk about that too. So this is just going to LinkedIn and sharing something that I wrote. And then I go to New Insight, and I also put it there. And actually, this is automated. I use a dashboard called Hootsuite. So I don't have to enter this manually. This one I enter manually. I just like how it looks better. So. And then, it's not enough just to share your stuff. Blah, 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 all about me, me. No, that's not good. You could also, and I recommend this, when you see great articles by other people, share them with your network. They really appreciate that. And you may have heard that some of the most powerful people today are the ones that filter information for others. And so I get a lot of comments when I share other people's articles. This was a great one on SEO by Search Engine Watch. That's a great company. And comment on other people's shares. So this is a consultant named Mark Jaffe who wrote a blog post on how Whole Foods is changing their strategy related to pricing so they can grow more. And I thought, it caught my attention because I think of Whole Foods as pretty expensive, and he was saying something about a change they're making, and I commented on it. So put your own things on there, but share other things as well. Okay, this is new. How many of you know that you can write blog posts on LinkedIn? A few. This is a new feature. So what LinkedIn did is a couple of years ago, they said, we're going to have 100 influencers and we're going to let them write stuff. And these were the big names, people who are writing for the big publications. They have books, they're well-known authors. And then they increased it to 500. And then they increased it to 1,000. And then they opened it up for everyone. So on LinkedIn, you can actually go in and write a blog post. I wish this existed back in 2009, because it took a lot of effort to build a blog, put it in my website, put all the right features in, blah, blah, blah. And the way you do it, actually, let's see if I can go back. Okay. See in the share box that little pencil under the paperclip? So the paperclip is if for some reason you may want to attach a file to something you share. But the little pencil, if you click on that, you'll go to a screen that allows you to enter your blog post. This is such a powerful feature. I recommend it for everyone. If you have an opinion on something big happens in the industry, you want to comment on someone's great job in PR, write a blog post and put a great photo along with it that gets people's attention. So I think that's an amazing feature. And every time you publish one of these blog posts, it goes in as a notification to all your contacts. You know, on LinkedIn, if you use your smartphone or if you go online, there's a little flag icon and it will have a red number on it. Those are the notifications of things that your contacts have done since you last signed on. And that's where your blog post will be in front of everyone you're connected to. I think that's such a great opportunity. And you can endorse people. So is everyone familiar with endorsements? Now, comment about that. You are responsible for putting your skills onto your profile. So do make sure that you have the right skills on here. And keep an eye on it, because sometimes your contacts will add skills for you because LinkedIn built that in as a feature. I'm not sure I really approve of that, because sometimes I've seen things like, I don't really do that. So you can manage them and take those skills off. And you can participate in discussions. And I was trying to think, what would be appropriate for this? Well, I happen to be a member of Marketing, PR, and Sales Innovators. And you can join the group and then participate in discussions. You can also list jobs. Let's take a look at a couple. Here are 2 discussions I found in this group. This is just yesterday. I wanted to ask you, of these 2, so here's a woman named Karen Haynes, New Year tips to improve your broadcast PR coverage in 2015. She's the owner of Shout Communications. And it looked to me like it's something someone at their firm wrote, so it's their blog post. And then here's Jan Nathanson, experienced promotional marketing maven. Her title is Traditional Marketing versus Digital. Where do you invest first as a new business? Why? So if these are 2 discussions someone posted in a group, which one do you think is more inviting?
The one that asks you the question.
The one that asks the question, right? And this is the beef I think a lot of people have with LinkedIn. I certainly have it with these groups. You join the group, and all it is people promoting their stuff. Blah, 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 blah. A blog post here, I'm having an event, I'm selling this, and it's annoying. But what I recommend is look for the good groups, because they are out there. And I have actually, for clients, logged in as my client and gone through the group discussions to find actual leads, people who are looking, as you said, you went on LinkedIn to find out who's done this before. So there are a lot of people asking for help. And if you go on LinkedIn as an expert and give some credible answers, don't try to sell, just answer and be helpful. It really can make a difference. And LinkedIn has an algorithm when it serves up results when people are searching. And I have to imagine that activity in the groups is going to add to your presence so that you do come up more in the search results when people look for PR professionals. So, and consider the possibilities for this chapter of PRSA. Could there be a group? Should there be a company or organization page for this chapter? Would that be helpful? So there might be some possibilities for someone to have another project, right? And then you can manage connections. And this is something new with LinkedIn. It looks like they're heading toward possibly launching their own client or customer relationship management system, or CRM system. Everyone knows Salesforce, and then there are some others. But LinkedIn, think about it. They've started to allow you to add custom contact information and notes for all your contacts. And a lot of people are saying it looks like they're about to launch a CRM. So for any of your contacts, you can see what notes you've shared with them. You can put in reminders. You can put in a comment about how you met. And then you can also organize your connections by tagging them with certain keywords. And then, comment about some of these new features and the status of LinkedIn today. LinkedIn went public, right? So what's their focus now? Money, shareholder value, exactly. So I think LinkedIn has done a pretty good job. They've been a little less on the firing line than Facebook for some of the features they've had and for some of the privacy issues. They did get hacked, and a notice went out pretty quickly to users to change their passwords. That affected one of my clients. So be careful. Tell your clients, use a good password. Don't think this is just social media, it doesn't matter. You don't want anyone getting in and getting to your information. They also have had lawsuits, and one in particular involved, I believe it was a class action lawsuit where people got together and said, it is not okay for LinkedIn to take our information. I think they were using the connections that people had and sending solicitation emails to the people you were connected to saying, you should be on this too, or something like that. So they've gotten into a little trouble, but typically they've been pretty credible and stable about how they deal with their members. But in terms of revenue moving forward, they definitely are selling hard on the premium memberships. There's now a sales version of LinkedIn, so if you're in sales, you get added features, and you may have heard of some of the others. You can sponsor your updates for your company page, so that promotes them and highlights them and gives more visibility to them. You have to pay for that. And you can also put targeted ads on LinkedIn. Is anyone doing that? A new feature, LinkedIn is now going beyond just ads on LinkedIn. So you can now do advertising across the internet to people who are on LinkedIn, and you can target certain titles. And you can also tie in that advertising to activity that is going on your website. So if someone you're connected to visits a page on your website, you can serve them up certain ads depending on where they went and what they did. So there are some more opportunities, but these are definitely related to LinkedIn. And I to this day, I don't have a premium account. I just have the free profile, and I think there are a lot of benefits with that. A couple other things. Know the privacy settings. There's a lot going on here. I have a client who is an attorney who does collections. So he uses LinkedIn to search. He wants to know if someone has a new job, maybe they can pay off that bill or the money that they owe. So he, on purpose, turns off, I think it's this one. You can change your settings so that you show up as anonymous. You know, the feature in LinkedIn that tells you who's viewed your profile. Sometimes it'll say anonymous looked at you. That's because that person said, I want to show up as anonymous as I look at other people's profiles. So there's a lot you can manage on the privacy settings. So these are just a few of I think the key things that can really make a difference for you to get results. Optimize that profile, and then do some of these little things to engage with people and be part of the conversation. Sure, you could get found, you may come up and you may get some messages from people if you just have a good profile, but do a little of that activity, get involved, answer some questions, and I think you'll get some really, really great results. So those are my comments for LinkedIn, and how about if anyone has any questions? I'm happy to.
Jennifer, I sent you a LinkedIn request while you were talking. My question for you is, I use LinkedIn all the time, like probably most, if not all, of the people in this room. One of the frustrations that I have is that the service still does not allow you to tag individuals or brands in any post whatsoever. Do you see that changing anytime soon? Does everyone know what I mean? So if you're typing out a post, I can't tag Marina here where I couldn't tag you.
You can only tag business.
Can you do that? In an ad, you can.
I know when I comment on LinkedIn, if I start to say, thank you, Nancy, it'll call up all the Nancys that I'm connected to, and I can select one. And that,
Maybe because I'm only dealing with company profiles.
that could be,
I'm updating the company profile.
I tag companies all the time in my posts. I start off with either an ad or a hashtag, and then
It does
the
call out.
hashtags will.
Maybe
It's
that's in the
different, but
publishing
add.
platform, maybe because if you're updating an organizational page, like if you have an official company profile, it doesn't allow you to do that on the company.
do you have a premium version of
I have
LinkedIn?
the job seeker version, but
You have a job
before I
seeker
got
version?
that, I was able to tag.
You were able
companies.
to, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, either ad or hashtag.
I've had similar frustrations because I thought that could become a new feature, and I always try to tag people, because you want to let them know you're talking about
Well,
them.
exactly.
It's beneficial.
It's also one of the frustrations with Facebook on mobile. I mean, here we are 5 years after Facebook's mobile apps appeared, and we still can't tag brands or anything. You can tag individuals, you can't tag brands.
Sometimes the mobile apps for these social media sites work differently than the desktop. That is, I agree with that. But, so it's a good point.
My second question is, do you recommend using, I do this, but do you recommend using your LinkedIn profile as a portfolio showcase? Because we're all PR professionals. You want to be able to showcase your work, writing samples, so on. Even put your resume up there if you're looking for a new opportunity. And of course, the piece of Facebook, LinkedIn allows you to do that.
Yeah, I think the more information on your LinkedIn profile, the better. I know now I don't really have like a designer portfolio, but I have a portfolio of consulting projects. And what I did is I put it on a SlideShare, and then I linked that SlideShare deck, if you will, to my LinkedIn profile. So it's one of the first things people see when they're looking through. I showed you the summary and the title, but that is also there. And people, if they click on it, it'll open up a little deck and they can go through and see some of the things I've done. So yes, it's a great idea to put more on there. One of my clients, I went in for the first meeting, they hired me, and so when we started the work, they said, we didn't even look at your website, we just looked at your LinkedIn. Because I think a lot of people think LinkedIn is, it's supposed to be a resume, it's more factual. I don't want to go to the website and see all this fluff they say they do. I want to see who recommended them, how long have they been doing this, are they a credible person? And I think a lot of people view LinkedIn as more credible than stuff you're going to say about yourself. So. Yes?
Have you ever found that people have recommended you for things you've never worked with them on? Because that has happened to me. Somebody said, oh, you're working with Linda for strategic planning or for this, and I'm thinking, we had drinks at happy hour. I'm really not sure how strategic that was.
Then you're happy hour.
I'm not sure how strategically planned that was.
So
we did get a good
and
seat. I gotta say, we had a good seat in the bar. And so there was some planning involved. And then I don't know what to do about that, because then I feel like a fraud. Like, oh God, I hope nobody knows.
And I meant to repeat the question so they get on the recording. So the question is, what if people endorse you or recommend you for things and you don't even know them? What does that mean? And it just feels a little weird. And so my answer is yes, that is weird. I've blogged about this. And this is when this new endorsement feature came out. Because forever, LinkedIn has allowed people you're connected to go in and write a recommendation. And that involves writing, and you know how hard it is to get our clients to write, right? So you have to write. So if you are thinking ahead, you probably draft it for them and send it over. You said this on the phone. Would you mind putting it on LinkedIn? Make it easy for them. So anyway, they have to write it, and then they input it into LinkedIn, a recommendation for Jennifer, and then it comes to me and a notification comes up and says, someone recommended you, do you want to show it on your profile? Then I have to approve it. So it's like a 3-step, maybe multi-day process. And I think LinkedIn in their efforts at something called growth hacking, which is building features into these social media platforms to increase engagement and make you buy more, increase revenue ultimately, but the more people that are on and the more people that are engaged and active, the more money they're going to make. So they built in this endorsement feature, which based on the skills you put in your profile, people can just click endorse. And then they built in the feature where when someone signs on, and if they do one endorsement, all of a sudden these blue little boxes will pop up. Who else do you want to endorse? Do you want to endorse this person for that? And often I think people just sit there and click. I don't. I'm very careful about that. I will read, and sometimes it'll say someone has a skill in some, and I'm just, that person is a therapist, and they're not a strategic planner. Well, I'm a past president of the Association for Strategic Planning in LA, so I have a different view of what strategic planning means. I'm a little weird about that, but so I'm very careful about which ones I click on, and it is weird. So you can remove a skill if it's inappropriate, and I do try to manage mine because I don't want people thinking I do something that I really don't. And I wish people were more careful, but LinkedIn built that feature on purpose. Any other questions?
Can you talk a little bit about etiquette? So what's expectation if someone endorses you?
What's the expectation if someone endorses you? What's the etiquette? So a lot of people want to know, well, I just got to do I have to thank everyone? That's difficult because when I think about people who are just endorsing everything they see, they're just clicking and they want to do you a favor by endorsing you. I don't thank everyone, but if my clients endorse me and my colleagues that I work very closely with, that means a lot to me. Certainly if they write recommendations, I thank them in an email and in person. Sometimes I'll thank the endorsers, but if I don't know them that well, I don't think you're expected to. Does anyone else have a comment on that?
I think with the point with the endorsements is that you could blanket, endorse people with it without having that sort of personal connection, whereas the recommendations, then that would be the difference. If they actually took the time to write out something for me, then I would be more inclined to communicate with them and say thank you. Probably reciprocate that if I'm able to. But with the endorsements, it's it's kind of just click and go. Like if you know that person and that skill kind of relates to them, go ahead. I mean that's the anonymous nature of that particular feature. But for the recommendations, I would definitely recommend communicating that.
Yes.
Is there any value to the premium package as opposed to the free one?
So the question is there any value to a premium membership on LinkedIn? And absolutely, there are many features you get with that. One of my consulting colleagues told me that he gets added intelligence from LinkedIn. So not only can he see who's viewed his profile, and on the free membership at LinkedIn, you'll see a limited number of those people. With the premium, you'll see everyone who's looked. And you can also apparently see the keywords that they use to find you, which could be great intelligence for online marketing and SEO. You have more ability to contact people directly, so you don't necessarily have to be connected to them. With some of the premium accounts, you can reach them more easily. You don't have to ask for an introduction to them. So there are a lot of features, and it's just, they have good information. If you compare memberships, you can decide which one you want.
Honestly, just from a personal experience, I'm not selling LinkedIn or anything.
You don't work for LinkedIn.
Just from a personal experience, when I was getting out of the military, I was trying to seek out people, and on the free account, I was hitting the limit on messages and stuff like that. So the benefit for me was that I was able to communicate with more people as I was trying to connect and really just get more guidance on stuff like that. So for me, the benefit was being able to connect with them.
So you saw benefit in reaching out to new people when you got out of one job to go into another one. Right, right.
You also get your email to them, your in-mail, we call it. You hit more characters available. You have a limited number if you're just a free member. And then also you can start a free trial and see if it's right for you. I mean, there's a 1 month free trial.
Thank you, good point. You can do a free trial to try out the features. And you mentioned with emails, you can, the
It's-
email body text is longer?
Yeah, you get more
Oh,
characters than just like 200 or 400, whatever it is, that they have limited, you know, if you just want to talk to the person real quick. I mean, obviously, you click on their page, you get their actual email address and get the contact information, but it's a bigger, you can send more information.
You can send more with the premium account, thank you. Other questions? So is everyone here connected together on LinkedIn? I think so.
I'm actually and I'll be endorsing all
I
of
work
it.
for you. This works for colleges and universities. Is there a way to use LinkedIn that we haven't thought of? Because we've sort of got our own, you know, and the other things is sort of a two-parter. And this time, I put on my other hat, I'm a former reporter, and sometimes I would look at LinkedIn for sources. And I would get, it was so jargon heavy that I didn't know what they did. Facilitate the leveraging of drilling down into the, you know, and it's just like into the stakeholders. I thought, I don't know what this person does, and I'd move on. You know, so just like any recommendations for writing your profile, that I say is reported and flipping over to my new job. And that is there a way to use this that we haven't thought of in a university college setting?
Okay, so two questions are, the first one, as a reporter, you encountered people who use tons of jargon and you look at their and you can't even tell what they do.
Yeah.
So
no idea.
what can you do to make sure that doesn't happen? And then the second one is now at a college, university, how can colleges and universities better use LinkedIn to, you know, accomplish goals and things like that. So the first one, yeah, I think jargon applies everywhere. It's not just LinkedIn. Because have you ever gone to a website and you think, well, I think this is about something, but you can't even tell what they do because it's either jargon or just not enough information. So it's true that people can get pretty caught up in the wording and using terms, industry terms. Technology is terrible for that. The acronyms. What are they thinking? Do they think we're from the technology planet and everyone knows what a HTML or whatever is? So you really do have to be careful. And I sort of hate for websites, for example, there's a textbook that I highly recommend. It's called Don't Make Me Think. I was an English major. I write long things. I want to write. I taught at the Pepperdine Graduate School. I mean, that bothers me in a certain way, but they are saying that keep it simple. Online, you have a nanosecond to get someone's attention and to get them to understand.
Yeah.
What was that?
Don't make me work. I'm already working
Don't
really
make me
hard.
think. Don't make me work. But yeah, so there is something to do that to that, and I think you can test your profile. Maybe ask your best client or a colleague to say, you know, look at my profile. Can you tell what I do? Is it clear? I actually coined the title CMO for Hire, and I had a Google alert out for that, and I was the only one that showed up. This was a long time ago. It was like 2005, 2006. I was like, CMO for Hire. I invented that, and I really stole it from the CFOs for Rent. And I had it on my LinkedIn profile. I was like, CMO for Hire. And then I thought, no one even knows what that is. I created it. Why is it on my profile? I need to say marketing consultant. So that kind of goes to that point. You have to really, don't think about what you want to say. Think about what people are looking for and make sure it's clear. And then the second thing on how can colleges and universities utilize LinkedIn. I know that, for example, at Pepperdine, now I got my MBA there and I also taught there, they have a Pepperdine version of LinkedIn that I can sign into, and it presents to me all the alumni, and I can search through and find people, and so I would think that exists for, is it?
Interesting, anyway.
Is it, this is a Cal State
This is,
school,
yeah,
right?
Cal State Channel
So
Islands.
Channel Islands, CSU, so I wonder if there's a version for, I don't know. And then my undergraduate is Colby College, and we have one too. I can sign on to a Colby College LinkedIn and just see all those people from the school and network within that. So there might be some, again, LinkedIn's going for the revenue, you know, they probably sold that to Pepperdine and Colby. I'm guessing, I don't know, but, yes, no?
No, every school has a page basically,
Okay.
or a group of alumni. When you put in where you went with the school, you become one of the alumni of that school, so everybody comes up there. And you can search, because you're alumni of that school, you can search all the fellow alumni and see all their profiles. Basically, you're almost at a first level with them as well, all the other alumni.
Okay. So is that, do you know, is that, did the schools get that for
No.
free? Do you have any
That
idea?
basically has to do with the school you signed up, and the
Okay.
school you went, you know.
Okay. Yeah. So every school should have it.
Every
So
school
it
should have, yeah.
that
So if
was
you're not an
cool.
alumni from there, you can try to find somebody who is, or you can actually look at that page. And it's really nice because when you go to the school page, it says like what city and country the alumni are in, what business they work for, what part of business they work for, so you can narrow down if you're looking for somebody in a specific field that you're alumni with, you can just
So there are, I guess we could, I think you're saying there are advanced search capabilities in these alumni special
Yeah,
pages.
on the page, yeah, the
Okay,
page for the
great.
school.
Yeah, okay, good to
And
know.
it's right at the top too, which is great. Might even-
Should I do one more?
So like our alumni association is the one that has the LinkedIn page.
Okay.
So not us, communication and marketing, but alumni association has it.
Okay.
And so as John was saying, as alums, you know, put that they're alums from Cal State Channel Islands, when they're in LinkedIn, it's gonna connect them back to all those other alums too
All
that
right.
are signing in.
So when you build your profile and put in the school you went to, you should watch for being connected to the correct page, because that'll get you connections with all alumni. Yeah, that's important. Thank you.
I'm still learning stuff.
Okay.
Sorry, it's early, I was having to think about that one. I know we have this.
No, that's cool.
Well,
No, I
let's
just-
thank Jennifer for her time this morning.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. And just a reminder and a close-up, take these reminders back to the office with you, put this on your calendar. And then also, if you are not a member of PRSA and would like to become a member, they have a promotion that will save you $65. So check it out, it's right here. And thank you all for coming, and we'll see you next month. Thank you.